Hello and welcome to Froch on Fighting. My name is Carl Froch, aka The Cobra, former unified champ, super middleweight, and International Boxing Hall of Famer 2023. You know the drill. This episode is brought to you by Cobra Casino. So, the fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis at the minute is in limbo. We don't know if the fight's going to be happening. I mean, I wasn't too excited about this fight anyway. I think it's a joke, but I'll get into that in a minute. So, here's what we know so far. Davis is now facing a lawsuit in Miami from his ex, accusing him of battery, kidnapping, false imprisonment, and emotional distress. I mean, this does not look good. And he's had previous with his partner. Hands on women, I just can't agree with. It's just terrible. And it's so bad for boxing when a fighter is being accused of putting... I mean, that's my personal opinion on men going anywhere near women in an aggressive manner. It's just wrong. So as of today, November 2nd, this fight is still technically scheduled for November 14th to air on Netflix, but it's basically hanging on by a thread. But the team, Jake Paul's team, have reportedly gone and contacted all the fighters, and the names that they're looking at contacting to fight as a late replacement: Ryan Garcia, Terence Crawford, Francis Ngannou, I mean, come on, we'll get into them, and Nate Diaz. So he's already fought Nate Diaz, but let's go through them one by one. I mean, Ryan Garcia, he's a similar size to Gervonta Davis. He's bigger though. Davis made him come down, didn't he? Then he beat him up. So that was Ryan Garcia. Quite a bad loss for Garcia, that was, because he was up for the fight, but Gervonta Davis beat Garcia. Garcia also isn't really big enough to be jumping in with Jake Paul, but that's a fight that potentially could happen. Garcia is a massive name. He's a big sort of... He's a social media star. He's a big public figure. Loads of followers on Instagram and social. I mean, his Instagram's over 1 million, I'm sure it is. He's just a big name, good-looking kid, great fighter, fast hands, and he's quite controversial as well. So that'd be a good fight, but the weight disparity, again, it's too big. So for me, when I say it'd be a good fight, it'd be interesting to see how Ryan Garcia would go in against Jake Paul. But to be honest, Jake Paul's far too big for him. Who else we got? Terence Crawford. I can't see Terence Crawford entertaining this, but then you never know, do you? If the old bunts make sense, then it makes people do strange things. And Terence Crawford's getting on now. What is he, 37, 38 years old? Had that great win against Canelo. Would he jump in with Jake Paul for mega money? Probably. He'd paced him as well. I mean, Terence Crawford would be too much for Jake Paul, even though he's up at 168 in his last fight, super middleweight, my old weight division. So I don't think Jake Paul would fight him. Francis Ngannou, I mean, why even chuck Ngannou in the mix? Ngannou would just hammer him. He's too big. I mean, he talked about Anthony Joshua. That never happened, did it? It's a load of bollocks. He talked about fighting AJ, then announced he's fighting someone the size of one of AJ's legs in Gervonta Davis. So for me, that's nothing. And the Nate Diaz fight, he's already fought him. It was a rubbish fight, and he's already beaten him. So really, they're in a bit of a pickle, aren't they? Well, I know one thing. My phone hasn't rang. They've not contacted the Cobra because they know, don't they? So what do I make of the whole thing? Well, let's start from the beginning. Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis. Joke, absolute clown world. Really fitting for fake Paul, the clown, because it's a clown show. You're putting him in with somebody who's 100 pounds lighter. I mentioned the weight disparity before. Getting on for 7 stone. It's a weight-governed sport. It should not be happening. He's too small, Gervonta Davis, against the big Jake Paul, who's in the gym a lot, training. Apparently he's fit and strong, and he has a go, and he can fight a little bit, which I disagree with, because I don't think he can. He might be able to fight a little bit. He certainly can't box. But these allegations against Gervonta Davis, they're very serious allegations. Anybody that's laying hands on women needs to be shut down straight away. For me, they need to be locked up and the key thrown away. You shouldn't touch women. They're not there to be touched and have their hands laid on them. I've got 2 daughters. I've got my wife, my mother. Anybody out there who's close relationship to women knows you do not lay your hands on women ever. Don't touch them. And if you do, you should be prisoned. As simple as that. That's my take on it. It's totally out of it. It's really serious. Tank needs to get a grip and stop doing what he's doing, because he's got previous. This is all alleged, don't forget. This is all allegations. So we're not trying to convict anybody here on Froch on Fighting. We're just pointing out the facts. He's been accused of all the serious allegations from earlier. It's not good enough. And from the fight being made to the weight disparity to Gervonta Davis being a wrong un in terms of these allegations, the whole thing is just an absolute circus. And this fight really needs to stop. They can't carry on. They might be getting some publicity and some press, and they say there's no such thing as bad press, but this is bad. This needs to not go ahead. Netflix, I can't see him putting their name to it. Boxing shouldn't be involved in it at all. But to be honest, it's got nothing to do with boxing, because it is a clown show exhibition. But The fight should not be happening, and I sincerely hope, for boxing's sake, that it doesn't. So I mentioned it earlier, will Jake Paul's team be contacting the Cobra? And I can answer that for you now. No, they won't, because they know it's not even a round. One round with me, with them little 10-ounce gloves on, it's fucking game over for Jake Paul. His whole clown show will fall apart. And I posted a picture of myself on Instagram yesterday, looking in great shape, might I add. I mean, I'm not bragging or anything, but I keep myself in shape. I punch that bag for half an hour. I'm doing all my groundwork, deadlifting, squatting, pull-ups. I do everything. I'm still feeling great. He can see it and he's thinking, even at 12 days notice, this would just be a complete and total mismatch because Jake Paul cannot fight. So before I wrap, I just want to finish on Joshua Boatsi and Zach Parker. Good fight last night, light heavyweight fight, 10 rounds. The winner of this fight will maybe go on to potentially knock on the door for a world title. I thought Zach Parker was unlucky. I thought he did enough to win. Adam Smith, Carl Frampton, Darren Barker, Barry Jones all agreed that Zach Parker should have had his hand held. One of the judges' scores was a draw. Two of the judges' score was 1 or 2 rounds in it. So it was a close fight. I just think that Joshua Boatsi is too one-paced. There's no urgency in his work. He plods around the ring looking for the 1-2 and looking to... He never really tries to get the ball by the horns and take the fight by the scruff of his neck and get onto his opponent and try and finish strong. He just plods. This is an Olympic bronze medalist who's been dubbed to be a great professional. But Eddie Hearn used to look after him at Matchroom. Now he's with Frank Warren at Queensberry. And he's potentially he's had star written all over him. When he turned pro, it was like, this could be a future star of the light heavyweight division. This guy could go on and win something, but he's in his 30s now. He's plodding around the ring, chasing after Zach Parker, or like I said, walking around after him. And he's got no urgency in his work. I thought Zach Parker was very unlucky. He was busy, he was ambitious, he was landing a lot of shots, and I think he's got a lot to be upset about, Zach Parker there. I thought he did enough to win the fight. I actually used to spar with Joshua Boatsi, and he was a little bit one-paced when I used to spar with him. I used to be able to cope with him behind the jab, and up close, he didn't feel that strong. He never really put any big shots together. So the way he used to spar, and I know he won a bronze medal in the Olympics, and he's a good fighter. You know, you've got to say he's a good fighter. If you can win in a bronze medal in the Olympic Games, then you've got to be able to fight. But he's turned pro and he's been disappointing. And I think last night he was very lucky against Zach Parker. I think Zach Parker will come again. But yeah, unfortunately, there's nothing really to get too excited about where Joshua Boatsi is concerned, because of his lack of ambition and his lack of sort of drive in the ring. He just looks one-paced and a little bit cumbersome in there. I mean, he needs to really step up the levels and go for it when he's in there. Otherwise, nobody's going to be interested. But he was lucky last night. He got away with one. So next week, I'll actually be going to Bahrain to watch a MMA tournament with Brave. There's a guy who I caught up with called Muhammad Makayev. He's an MMA fighter, formerly with the UFC, now with Brave, and he's fighting next week. And we had a chat about the eye poke with Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gahn, and we're also talking about his fight out there in Bahrain. I've said to you, I want to get into the MMA world a little bit more. So I'm going to this event just to get the feelers for it, have a look what's happening. It's not UFC, it's Brave, which is another organisation within the MMA world. And John Jones is going to be there. Hopefully I'll get hold of John Jones and get him, because he's an absolute legend of the MMA world. So here's my chat with Muhammad Makayev earlier this week. Are you familiar with myself, the Cobra, former champ, Hall of Famer and all that?
Yes.
Or you're too young?
Yes. I watch highlights, brother, but like boxing, first time ever I watch Artur Beterbiev and Bivol, only one time full fight in my life, that's it. The rest, I'm just watching the highlights.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. I'm a little bit older than you. I've been retired 11 years as well, but it's great to have you on the channel. Thanks for joining us on Froch on Fighting. Let's get straight into it anyway, because I know you've got a very busy day. Let's start with your upcoming fight. You're in action next Friday for Brave in Bahrain. I'm going to be out there as well. How are you feeling about this fight? How's camp gone?
Camp's good. I did training camp at the Olympic Center in Russia, and then it was high altitude, and now I came here like 4 weeks ago just to get climate, because it's hard to breathe here for first week, and so I came here early and did finishing my camp here now.
Oh, that's good. When you go altitude, it puts a bit more oxygen in the lungs, in the blood. I was up Mount Teede in Tenerife, one of the Canary Islands, training for one of my fights, and yeah, you have to acclimatise back to the sea level, don't you, to make yourself feel back to 100%. Normal.
Yeah, that's. I don't understand fighters when they're coming on a fight week. I know you save a bit money, but You say you have to fight 5 rounds, and I never did like this. I always come like 3 4 weeks earlier.
No, you need a few weeks because you have to acclimate to the different change in time zone, everything. I used to give myself at least 3 weeks when I boxed in America, depending on if I was on West Coast or East Coast. But it makes a big difference. I don't understand it either. 1 week, flying, traveling, getting there a week before, it's not good. So you're well prepared. You've been there for what, over 3 weeks, have you?
Yeah, this is my 4th week now. So I like in America, I remember I was fighting in Vegas, and first day I went for a jog, and my nose started bleeding in Vegas because the dry climate over there. So like out of
Yeah.
38 fights now, I learned a lot. So I'm not saving any money. I just go out there. I rather put my performance instead of like save couple quid and then not putting my performance in.
Save a couple of quid. I love that. So you're fighting in Bahrain. I'll be there cage side next week, and I cannot wait. To be honest, I'm really looking forward to it. I've never been to a live mixed martial arts event. What can fight fans expect from you next Friday?
Five fights fans can expect like I'm coming for a finish, first my title fight, and it's interesting for me. I'm very motivated, very hungry to get back in the flyweight division because after leaving UFC, I did like a couple of bantamweight fights, and I'm looking forward to come back to my own division.
Good, good. Looking forward to seeing you. You was, for those who don't know, you mentioned it there. You was one of the top flyweights in the world, and you were previously with the UFC. So now, what's your experience like now? Well, what was your experience actually like fighting for the UFC? Do you enjoy that?
Experience, I would say every like most organization are today are same level. I would say it's just people thinking it's like opponents are different. It's not. It's not. It's people. It's the media. Media is the biggest key in the UFC. The rest, I would say, all organizations are similar. The walkouts, the weigh-ins, all the atmosphere from hotel you get to an event, everything is similar. It's just people because it's a bigger organization. It's been promoted really well. That's why people expect it being different. But from the experience wise, it's exactly same. Exactly same opponents. I would say I had more difficult fights in amateur career than some fights in UFC.
Right, okay. There's been a lot of talk online actually about your exit from the UFC, and Dana White himself has made a few comments. Can you clear up what really happened and why you moved on to Brave?
I run out of contract of fighting on the last fight deal. They didn't renew my contract, and then Brave offered me the biggest flyweight paycheck in the world, and I signed with them.
Fair enough. Have you got a relationship, a broken relationship now with Dana White, or are you okay with him? How's things?
With Dana doesn't like between me and Dana. There's nothing happened. There's matchmakers who probably wasn't happy about my performances, and I'm talking to them. But with Dana, I only talk once in my life, once or twice.
Oh, really?
When I got injured, and my knee nearly got snapped in London, UFC event, and I told him, give me top 15 opponent, and that's it. Dana actually doesn't involve much today in UFC. He doesn't deal with many fights. There's most matchmakers. There's Hunter Campbell, Mick Maynard, and that's it. Dana is, I would say, he's just like a face of UFC right now.
Right. Okay. So there's no beef with you and Dana.
No. There's no beef between me and Dana. So I mean, he respects the people he work with. So of course he's gonna respect their decisions because he's in the office with them every day, and I'm just like another fighter for them. That's how simple it is. So there's no hard feelings towards him. That's his people who he's basically spends time every day.
Well, fair enough. Listen, mate, I'm looking forward to watching you fight, really. And let's move on because there's been a bit of a situation with Tom Aspinall. I say situation. He got poked in the eye really bad. Tom Aspinall did. And I know he's a friend of yours. He's also a friend of the channel, Froch on Fight. And I've interviewed him on here. He's a top fighter, top guy as well. He just fought Cyril Gane, and it ended with that unfortunate eye poke. And you defended him a lot online. There's been a lot of crap going back and forth, and he's getting told he's a quitter, which is ridiculous for my opinion. But What are your thoughts on the whole eye poke, and how do you feel about Tom Aspinall and people giving him a lot of beef online saying he quit?
So Tom Aspinall was my first ever BJJ coach when I was 13 years old. I trained in Wigan with like Mike Grundy, Tom Aspinall, all the like Darren Till. So since I was 13 years old, so Tom is a legend. If I didn't know him, probably I don't know. Maybe I didn't say that, but he's like him and his father, really good family, really good people, humble outside the cage. Like I don't think the title even affect him. And there's no man goes to in the ring, in the cage, or goes to compete that scares of another man. There's no such a thing like this. If you're scared, you don't ever enter to the cage. Like he would never end up with being champion, because to be champion you must have championship mentality, and he already proven that. So casual fans always gonna be there. Doesn't matter. It's 10 years, 20 years till they not compete themselves or ever cut weight once in their life. They sit
Absolutely.
fat guys on the couch and they're talking about those fighters. Welcome to the gym. We'll show them levels to this game if they really want to talk about the fighters.
No, exactly. And he got poked really badly in the eye, and the people are basically saying, "Oh, he quit. He could have carried on. He got poked in the eye, but big deal." I mean, I'm reading reports today that he's still blind in one eye, really struggling to see in the other eye as well. He's got like 50% vision, so it must have been really bad. If he got poked in the eye that bad, is it anything like that ever happened to you?
Yesterday, it was close to my eye. The sparring yesterday
Really?
we did. I don't know if you see, but eye poke. It happens. It happens. I've been poked in the eye maybe 3 years ago in wrestling, just in wrestling, and my eye went split into four. I'm like, I never will see in the eye ever again. When I see like like CCTV for
All
screens.
people, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh shit, this something no good, and it been happening to me for an hour. I never checked, and but it happens. He's a champion. They can rematch. Most important is health. You can recover health. You can have rematch, but you cannot recover health. So what's it's good for you, for personally for you, you do it. That's the right decision Tom did. I'm back him up in that.
Absolutely. A lot of people have thrown the word quit around and saying that he quit. I mean, is that criticism unfair?
Well, of course, brother. Of course, I think like quit. Like I don't know. It's round one. It's not like round three. He's getting dominated 3 rounds, and there's another 2 rounds to go, and he's like he gives up. There's round one, close round. I would say it was definitely close round, but there's another 4 rounds to go. I was losing in UFC 2 rounds, and then finishing by submission in the third round. So definitely, I don't think there's such a thing should be using as a quit.
Yeah, it's harsh criticism. I just listened to Michael Bisping's take on it, and he's obviously a guy that's got one eye himself.
Yeah.
So he knows what it's like to have a limited vision. And he basically cleared it up really well. He was very articulate. I love listening to him, watching him on his channel. And he sort of cleared up, getting poked in the eye, and how it feels when you get sort of blinded. I mean, I've had thumbs in the eye in boxing, but we wear gloves. With the UFC, there's fingers involved, and the fingers can poke you in the eyes. And he was talking about maybe how that can be sorted out, and how the referees will have to really be strict when you're throwing a punch or when you're attacking. You've got to make sure your hands are closed. But it is an issue with the UFC, and it is a real shame when it happens. But for the fans to say that he quit, yeah, I'm glad you cleared that up. Disgraceful. He's not a quitter. He's a top guy. He's been waiting for his chance. Obviously, the fight with John Jones never happened, and he's serious about the game, and he wants to be a bona fide world champ. So
I think, backstage you always get warned by referees, not close your fingers when you fight and stuff. You're already getting warned at the backstage. So a lot of fighters taking advantage of having another chance in the cage, warn you, but you already damaged the guy. So it's like kicking somebody in the nuts. You get one warn, sometimes you get second warning, and then you take points away. You should, your purse should take away like 20-25%. So you'd be worried about your purse when you open the fingers. Or it should be DQ straight away. So it's not referee gives too much warnings, I think, in the cage.
Yeah, I mean, point deducted straight away would help, because if you've got a 5-round fight and you get a point deducted, that's a big loss, losing a point. You lose the round,
That's it.
basically. And then, like you
That's it.
said, if you end up getting disqualified, you lose some of your purse. Anybody that's thinking about poking the eyes, they know it's going to cost them dearly. So I think the rules probably need to be a bit stricter and tighten up. Do you actually speak to Tom regularly?
I do speak to. I actually messaged his father straight away after they go back to UK couple days ago. I said like we are in Bahrain, so we got the Prince of Bahrain here supporting us. If you need any help from like medical side, we can help him from our team as well. So, but I don't think they need, because they have like insurance and stuff from UFC
Yeah.
side. So, but if we can't do something from my side, I would love to help him.
Yeah, brilliant. What do you reckon? Do you reckon he takes the rematch? Does he win the rematch?
Yeah, he will win rematch. I believe in Tom. I believe in Tom. That's my guy.
Yeah, definitely. Right, I think we're about wrapped up, mate, because time-wise, we're strict. So thanks for your time. Appreciate
Yeah.
it. And I'll be in Bahrain next week. You got anything you want to say to the fans before you leave? Any message?
Thank you for support. Tune in November 7th to watch the belt around my waist. I'll see you in Bahrain.
Absolutely. And good luck with your career now, moving forward with Brave. Hope it all goes well for you. And I'll be there on Friday night, cheering for you.
Thank you. I'll see you here then.
Good luck. Absolutely.
Thank you, brother.
Good luck with it all. Thanks. Take care.
Thank you.
So good to catch up with Muhammad Makayev, fighting next week in Bahrain. I'm going to be there on the ground with my producer, the Manning Machine, hitting the floor hard, getting what we can whilst we're out there. There's some big names: John Jones, Michael Bisping, Tom Aspinall might be there, depending on what his eye's looking like now. But yeah, don't forget to hit like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell as well so you don't miss anything, to the best channel in the business. See you next week.